Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Are the voice and screen clear? All okay? Hmm? Tell me. Yes. There was some problem with internet. Now it seems that it is sorted. So now the wait is over. We can start our lecture. Let everyone join. We'll wait for 1 more minute. Let everyone join. Can you read the content on the screen? Is that okay this time? कैमरा बराबर close आया था. Can you read the content properly? Yes. Okay. This message is from Prithviraj. So we can say that yes, it is okay. Fine. Okay, what was the last point? Can you tell me? What was the last point? Anyone? Solved example. Okay. Which one? Which one? (14). Okay. Fine. So all the basics are covered now. Okay. So right now we will be starting with the new thing. Okay. Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law? What is Coulomb's law? Let us try to understand. So write down the heading along with me. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. Coulomb is a name of scientist. Coulomb is a name of scientist. Just like Newton, Newton has given us the law of gravitation. Okay, the force between the two masses. Okay, Newton has given us the force between the two masses, and Coulomb has given us the force between the two charges. Okay, if a particle has mass, then another particle which has mass, then two particles having mass, there will be some force between them, and that law has been already given by Newton. Okay, sir, that law you already also know. Fine. A similar law, okay, which governs the force between the two charges. Force between two masses, gravitational force. Now we have force between two stationary charges. Force between two stationary charges. We are right now not concerned about moving charges in electrostatics. That we will do in electrodynamics or current electricity. Okay. Yes, sir. Right now we are concerned with only stationary charges. So write down along with me Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. Write down the force of attraction, the force of attraction or repulsion, the force of attraction or repulsion between two point charges. Okay, so it has been initially stated for point charges only. Fine. The force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges is directly proportional to, all right, is directly proportional to product of the charges, product of course, let us take magnitudes, products of magnitudes of the charges. Okay, just do not consider any sign, write down the numerical value, product of magnitudes of charges. Okay, sir, products of magnitudes of the charges and inversely proportional to and inversely proportional to square of distance, okay, between them, square of distance between them. Okay, just keep on writing the things. Okay, this is law, we have to accept it, this is what we have observed. Okay, you can also observe anything and you can make it a law if it is valid for each and every case. Okay, you observe a thing, check whether it is always valid, whether it is not changing with time, whether it is not changing with space. Okay, if it is same, if it is constant law, if it is a always wala law, in that case you can write down that proportionality as a statement. Okay, as a statement of law. Fine, this can be done by anyone. Okay, the same thing Coulomb has done. Fine, so just like Newton's law, we have a Coulomb's law. Okay, most of the things in the electrostatics we will be writing the analogy with gravitation. Okay, electrostatics will be analogous with the gravitation. Okay sir, fine. So Coulomb wants to say that the force is directly proportional to product of the charges. Okay, the force is directly proportional to 1 upon r square or inversely proportional to r square. Both can be written like this: F proportional to 1 upon r square, where r is the distance between the charges and q1 q2 are the values of the charges. Fine. Okay sir. Now when the force is going to be attractive, when the force is going to be negative, that we already know. So we can decide the direction on our own. We can decide the direction on our own. Okay, but still he gives some insight to the directions. So write down this, then write down this, and now write the force acts along the line. Okay, the statement of the law is still continuing. We are still continuing the statement. Okay, initially he gives us the idea of magnitude. Okay, that is the proportionality, and now he wants to tell us something about the direction. The force acts along the line. Fine, along the line, joining the two charges, along the line, joining the two, of course, point charges. Okay, though it has been stated for point charges, we can apply it to the extended objects also. Mic इथेच आहे. Fine. The force acts along the line joining the 2 point charges. Fine. Now, up to this, is that clear? Just reply me small c small n. Someone said, sir, तुमचा mic पडला. Mic कुठे पडलाय? Up to this, clear. Fine. So now, sir, we understand this law. Okay, let us draw the diagram. You also draw along with me. Let us draw the first charge as q1, second charge as q2, and this is the line joining the two charges. So along this line, the force will be acting either leftward or rightward, but it will be definitely along this line. Fine, sir. Now, when this charge will be attracted, when this charge will be repelled, those things we already know. If both are positive charges, there will be repulsion. If both are negative charges, again there will be repulsion. If one is positive, another is negative, there will be attraction. Accordingly, we will decide the direction of force. Fine, sir. It means that, sir, you want us to find out magnitude first. Yes, I want you to find out magnitude first. Then you decide the direction, either leftward or rightward, and just multiply by the unit vector, which is leftward or rightward. पहिल्यांदा force चा magnitude calculate करा. Then decide the direction, and then multiply the answer magnitude by the direction. Direction means unit vector. The unit vector will be either leftward or the rightward. Fine, sir. Up to this, it is clear to us. Fine. So let us write the mathematical law. F. Okay, I'm not writing F bar. I'm writing F is equal to, F proportional to. Call this as equation 1. Call this as equation 2. Simple things. Now, if these are the proportionalities, first thing we have to observe, Second thing, we have to write the proportionality. Third thing in the physics is combine the proportionality. Fourth thing is remove the proportionality and bring the equality. Write the proportionality constant small k. Now to differentiate between small k and capital K, okay, there might be the confusion between small k, capital K. I will be writing small k like this. I will be writing small k like this and capital K like this. Okay, so that there will not be any confusion. Fine, sir. So some proportionality constant small k q1 q2 upon r square. Okay, where this k is a medium dependent proportionality constant. This is a proportionality constant. It depends on medium. It depends on medium between the two charges. Okay, sir, fine. Up to this, small c, small n. Clear or not clear? Clear, small c, not clear, small n. Very good, very good. Now draw a zigzag line like this. Right here, analogy. Gravitational force is equal to small k, capital G, q1 q2 m1 m2 upon r square. That's it. Zigzag line. We will be drawing zigzag line to denote the analogy always. Fine. Most of the things we have to relate with the most of the things in the electrostatics we have to relate with the gravitation. Okay, sir. Fine. So gravitation chapter will be almost half of the gravitation chapter will be revised. Okay, sir. Next thing. Now, sir, what about direction? You wrote the magnitude of the force. Yes, I wrote the magnitude of the force. Now, sir, let us write F bar. How to write F bar? Try to understand. Okay, try to understand. Let us consider the situation. Let us consider the situation where first charge is positive and second charge is also positive. Okay, first charge is positive, second charge is also positive, and let us try to find out force on second charge. Now force on the second charge, sir, this is positive, this is positive, both charges will be repelling each other, so charge on q2 will be in force on q2 will be in the rightward direction. Okay, force on q2 will be in the rightward direction. Yes, because there is repulsion. q1 will say go away, I am repelling you, so go away. Okay, fine. So this force is on second charge by the first charge. Okay, so this is the direction, and this magnitude we will find out. How to read this? F21 bar. How to read this? F on 2 by 1. F means force, 21 means on 2 by 1. Okay, let us try to find out this force both in magnitude as well as direction. Very simple thing. Write down F on 2 by 1 as a vector is equal to magnitude of force on 2 by 1, magnitude multiplied by direction. Direction means unit vector. Direction means any unit vector in the direction of this force, given force. Okay, sir. Now this distance is r. This distance is r. Okay, I will give you time to ask the doubts. Okay, initially just try to understand the things, and when I say clear or not, in that case, when I'm looking at the chat box, you may answer, you may ask the doubt. Okay, fine. Now let us write the magnitude and the direction separately. Fine. So to write the magnitude and direction, how to write the magnitude? Sir, proportionality constant small k, q1, q2 upon r square. Now here we will put the values of charges. Just give me a second. me read the chat. Wait for a second. Fine. So first of all, write down the magnitude. Write down the magnitude, and then the direction. Now, what is the direction of this force? So, direction of this force is rightward. Direction of this force is rightward. All right. So, if the direction of this force is rightward, we can take one. We can take one displacement vector which is rightward. So, let us take one displacement vector. Okay. Let us do some extra work here. Let us do some extra work here. Okay. This is the distance between the 2 point charges. So let us write the position vector as r12. Let us write the position vector as r12. All right. Now, how to read this? How to read this? This is from 1 to 2. Okay, from 1 to 2 will give us rightward direction. From 1 to 2 will give us rightward direction. Okay, if from 1 to 2 gives us rightward direction, then we can have a unit vector in the rightward direction like this. Okay, unit vector. Now, unit vector, how to write unit vector? Vector upon its magnitude. So r12 vector divided by r12 vector divided by its magnitude. What is its magnitude? r12 vectorचा magnitude काय? That is r. So write down here r. Okay. So now here we have the magnitude. Okay. Now here we have the magnitude multiplied by the direction. Now the rightward direction. What is the rightward direction? The rightward direction is r12 unit vector. Unit vector in the direction of this vector. Okay, f21 cap. It is rightward. Any rightward unit vector is okay. So any rightward unit vector is okay. So let us write r12 cap. How to write a unit vector? Vector upon its magnitude. Vector upon its magnitude. Fine. Now we have written vector, unit vector, vector upon its magnitude. So this law will become k q1 q2 upon r square. Okay, here we have to take only numerical value for the magnitude multiplied by direction. r12 cap can be written as displacement vector r12. How to read the displacement? From 1 to 2 bar vector divided by vector upon its magnitude. Its magnitude is r. So what is the final answer now? What is the final answer now? As a vector, what is the final answer? Force on 2 by 1 is equal to numerical value k q1 q2 upon this r square into r becomes r cube and multiplied by a displacement vector r12. That's it. R12. That's it. So in this way you will find out vector form. Okay, in this way you will find out vector form of the Coulomb's law. Now reply me in the chat box, small c, small n. Write it down and let me know in the chat box. Fine. Any doubt up to this? Up to this, any doubt? Vector form पर्यंत कळालं का बघा? Just reply me clear and written, so that we can move on to the questions based on the Coulomb's law or any other things based on the Coulomb's law. Clear and written. Good. So now just decide the magnitude. What is the magnitude? Just decide the direction. If the direction is rightward, take vector from R12, okay, and then find out the unit vector. If the direction of the force is leftward, then what you will do? You will take a leftward displacement vector R21 from 2 to 1, R21, and the unit vector in the leftward direction. Okay, that is enough. Okay, so in this way you can find out the magnitude and the direction. Okay, now let us write about this k. Now let us write about this proportionality constant k. Write down the proportionality constant. Write down the proportionality constant. The proportionality constant in the Coulomb's law. In the Coulomb's law, the proportionality constant in the Coulomb's law. The proportionality constant in the Coulomb's law. K is equal to, it is a medium dependent proportionality constant. It is small k. It is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. Okay, or let us write it as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. Just write it like this. This letter is called as epsilon. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. Now epsilon is again a medium property, so we are saying k is a medium dependent constant. So let us write down about epsilon. What is epsilon? Epsilon is called as permittivity. It is called as permittivity of medium. Okay, epsilon is called as permittivity of medium. Okay, double T. Okay, just let me write the spelling again. It is this, permittivity of medium. It is called as permittivity of medium. Okay, just like there are some properties of medium. For example, for a solid medium we have properties like Young's modulus. For a liquid medium we have property like bulk modulus. There are different properties of medium. Just like that, there is one more property which is called as permittivity of the medium. Okay, which is called as permittivity of the medium. Fine. There are some relations for this permittivity. Epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 multiplied by epsilon r. Epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 multiplied by epsilon r. Now what is this epsilon? This epsilon means permittivity of medium. What is this epsilon r? Epsilon r is called as relative permittivity. Okay, fine. It is called as relative permittivity. Just keep on writing. These are some new terms we have to get familiar with. Relative permittivity. And what is epsilon 0? Epsilon 0 is called as permittivity of vacuum. Okay, when there is no medium, there is vacuum. So there is some property called as epsilon 0, which is known as permittivity of vacuum. Okay, permittivity of vacuum. Check up to this. Is that clear? Reply me in the chat box. CW, clear and written. Reply me in the chat box, clear and written, everyone. Proportionality constant K. It is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. What is epsilon? Epsilon is some property of medium. If epsilon is a medium property, K is also medium property, small k. Okay. What is epsilon formula? It is epsilon 0 into epsilon r. What is epsilon 0? It is permittivity of vacuum or the free space. Vacuum is also called as free space. It is also called as free space. Okay, sir, fine. It is also called as free space. Epsilon r is relative permittivity. Epsilon r is relative permittivity. All right. Now sometimes this epsilon r is denoted by the symbol capital K. Okay, so do not confuse between small k and capital K. We are using small k letter like this. Okay. Now let us write this formula again. Let us write the same formula again using different notations. Epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 into epsilon r, but sometimes people use the formula like this: epsilon 0 into capital K. Epsilon 0 into capital K. So epsilon r means capital K is equal to what? Epsilon divided by my mistake, epsilon divided by epsilon 0. Okay. Now epsilon r is equal to K is equal to, there are some names, just write down: relative permittivity, means permittivity of medium divided by permittivity of vacuum. Permittivity of medium divided by permittivity of vacuum. It is also called as relative permittivity. There are some other names also. It is also called as dielectric constant. Okay, it is also called as dielectric constant. Okay, fine. It is also called as dielectric constant, and there is one more name, let me check. It is also called as specific inductive capacity. It is also called as specific inductive capacity. These are simply names that we will remember. Okay, we will try to remember. Most of the times either this name or this name will be used. This will be rarely used. Okay, I have not seen any particular question using this name. Most of the time this and this. So focus on these two names. Up to this point, reply me in the chat box, small c, clear and written. इथपर्यंत समजलंय? Good. Fine. Okay. Now let us write down the values of epsilon r or values of K. Write down here. Medium. Make one chart. Medium and value of epsilon r. Epsilon r means capital K, not small k. Capital K. If there is vacuum or air, take the value of epsilon r as 1. Okay, this value we have to remember. Okay, how to find value of epsilon r? Permittivity of medium divided by permittivity of vacuum. What is permittivity? It is some property of what is permittivity of medium? It is some property of medium which appears in the formula. Which formula? It appears in the formula K equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. It appears in the formula 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. Okay, fine. So this property, it is a medium dependent property. What is its name? Its name is permittivity of medium. Now what is the role, we will try to understand, okay, step by step. Okay, but initially we will simply write down, the values of epsilon r, which we already know. Fine. So for vacuum or air, the value of epsilon r is 1. Okay, for vacuum or air, the value of epsilon r is 1. Next is water. Now water is non-conducting medium. Fine. So its value is 80 for water. Value of epsilon r, that is dielectric constant, is 80. Okay, value of epsilon r or the dielectric constant is 80. Then there is glass. Glass is a non-conducting material. Okay, so for that the value is around 5 to 10 based on the composition of the glass. Okay, how the glass is exactly formed, based on that the permittivity of the glass, sorry, relative permittivity of the glass or the dielectric constant of the glass varies from 5 to 10. Next, metal. Any metal, actually instead of saying metal, we should say a good conductor of electricity. For conductors, okay, we generally know metals are conductors. So metals in bracket conductors, that value is infinity. Okay, why that is infinity? Right now we will not be able to give the answer for why the conductivity, or sorry, why the epsilon r for metal is infinity. But once we understand the concept of electric field, at that time we will be able to give this answer, why the epsilon r of the metals is equal to infinity. So write down this chart and let me know in the chat box. Up to this point, is that clear and written? Reply now. Good. Good. Fine. All right. So now we have made this chart. Okay, this chart we have to remember. Okay, this chart will get automatically remembered. No special efforts. For vacuum it is 1. For vacuum it is 1. For water it is 80. For glass it ranges between 5 to 10. Okay, and for conductors it is infinity. Okay, and for conductors it is infinity. All right. Now let us write the next thing. Okay, principle of superposition. Principle of superposition. Now what is this principle of superposition? This thing we have already learned in the gravitation as well. Principle of superposition of forces. Principle of superposition of forces. So very simple thing. Superposition principle is a very simple thing. Just write down along with me and just make a note. How much time we have? Okay, we have around 1 minute. We will rejoin. Okay, write down. Principle of superposition. Principle of superposition. Fine. So principle of superposition means what? Let us initially first try to understand and then we'll make a statement. Let's say here we have one charge. Okay, one charge Q0. Okay, Q0, a test charge. Let's say here we have the first charge Q1. Here we have the second charge Q2. Here we have the third charge Q3. Okay, so what will be the net force on this test charge? What will be the net force on this test charge, that is Q0? Find out force due to the first charge. Let's say the force due to the first charge. Force on 0 by 1. Okay, force on test charge by the first charge, then force on 0 by the second charge. Let's say it is like this. Force on the test charge by the first charge. Similarly, force on the test charge by the third charge. Okay, so in this way, first of all, try to find out the forces acting on this charge. पहिल्यांदा काय करा, या forces वरती सॉरी या charge वरती act होणारे forces draw करा. Okay, fine, we did it. Next, what you have to do to find out the net force on Q0. So write down, to find out net force on given charge, net force on given charge